and the inhuman treatment of the distinguished Senator Dino Melai. Mr. President, distinguished senators, in order to carry out this exercise in conformity with our Standing Order 17, floor privileges, I will move two motions. First, I move that the Senate do resolve into committee of the whole, but we need to find out if he's around.
Mr. President.
Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Sergeant, if you invite the IG, please. Distinguished colleagues, I've just been informed by the clerk that the Inspector General of Police is not here, or anybody in his team is here. So I think we need to decide on the next line of action. Leslie, do you have anything to brief us on?
Well, 2 days or so, we have tried to reach to the Inspector General of Police to inform him that he should appear today in keeping with our resolution. We have done that with the Chairman, Senate Committee on Police Affairs. Personally, I made attempts to call his line, the IG's line, and I sent text messages that he should call me as soon as he was able to see my message. Clearly, the IG is not here. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I think this is very, very unusual. This is very unusual and also very unfortunate. I personally feel that public officers should do what is in the interest of the public, and where any public officer feels he cannot do what is in the interest of the public, then there is no need for such an officer to continue to occupy that kind of office. I believe that this institution is now at a crossroad on this. I want to believe that a decision has to be taken on the way forward. We, even though we'll always like to have our security agencies to come and brief us because of the current security situation in the country, in fact, even on a daily basis where possible. But in a situation where there is consistent non-appearance by the IG, I don't think it will make any further sense to continue to extend invitation until the Senate takes a definite decision to make the situation better. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
This is quite a very sad moment for Nigeria, not for the parliament, but for our democracy, that for the very first time, let me share or inform the Senate that, Mr. President, I had the privilege or the grace to chair the House Committee on Police Affairs in the 5th National Assembly. And I cannot imagine in my wildest imagination that such a thing could happen to the country's highest lawmaking body. It is sad, it is inexcusable, it's unacceptable, it's condemnable, and it calls for immediate action. A while ago, a friend of mine was sharing with me that some people might not come out to tell us their weaknesses. Either they don't have the capacity to withstand this Senate, or whatever. Now, this clearly explains one's lack of capacity to even serve in a position like that. I think this Senate need to take a very, very serious action on the way forward. We cannot stand this embarrassment any longer. And I will suggest, Mr. President, let us have a closed session, or possibly, I am moving, we have a closed session or an executive session to take very serious consideration on this matter, because this is a national disgrace. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Comrade Isa Hamamisau, I represent the good people of Bauchi Central. Mr. President, it's on record, when I came here first to make several allegations about the leadership in the police, I made mention here, categorically clear, there is a problem in the leadership in the police. And my reason, simple reason was, throughout my life, I've been in the police system. My father served in the police for 35 years, which he retired as an Assistant Inspector General of Police. Throughout my life, I know about the police job, which later I served in the police for over 10 years. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, on official capacity, there is no any person here that is not bigger than the IG constitutionally. Anybody here can invite the IG officially, because by the Constitution, every senator is bigger than the office of the IG. And this is, if we are counting, this is the 4th time the IG was invited here, and for some other reasons, he refused to come. The first time when I made the allegation on the way the police is being governed or made by the Inspector General of Police, he brought a lawyer challenging the authority of the Senate to invite him. But today, all what I've said is coming out clearly. All the allegations I made, about 13 allegations, I think everything came out. That is God for you. Today, the last time when we invited the IG, they said he went to Birningwari. The IG was there, or was on that trip when they killed more than 70-something people. If the IG will snub the invitation of the Senate and claim that he has moved to Birningwari in Kaduna State, and when he was there and he could not stop the killings of about 87 people, then it shows that you cannot deceive God, you can only deceive man. Today, Mr. President, what the IG is doing is not against the Senate. I think he's doing it against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because he is the leader today of this country. If an appointee of the President somebody within 1 second, or somebody, even the wife of the president, can even come out and announce that the president said IG should be sacked, who refuse to honor invitation of an institution which is the main institution that sees the democratic running of any democracy, I think is unfortunate. Mr. President, it shows so many things. I think it is left now for this government to decide if they have an appointee that will re-establish the image of the country. Because what he's doing here, there is no parliament, check it anywhere, that will invite somebody, an appointee of the president that will not honor it. Check anywhere. I stand to be corrected. Anywhere that they are practicing democracy in the world, this is the only country that you see a parliament will invite somebody and the person will say will not come. I think we can either do it here at the plenary, or what Senator Boucher said, we should go back to executive session and decide on what to do. Because we can't be, the constitution that gave you right to carry gun, to make people to go and be arresting people, is the same constitution that gave us that right to invite anybody. And even if it means today, if a policeman in Lagos slap a civilian, we have every right to call the IG and make us, to explain to us what is the reason behind a policeman slapping somebody. We are talking about crisis that is happening in this country. Every day there are killings. Some killings are not even reported in this chamber. Some killings are not even reported. Today, and who are the main organizations that are supposed to safeguard lives and property is the police. The army is just complementing the efforts of the police. And today what we are mentioning everywhere is army, army, army. Today we should be able to know what is even the strength of the police, what is even the capacity, what is even the kind of training they're having. And if the leader of the police cannot honor this, that means he's not competent to hold that office. What is he afraid of? If he knows what he's doing is right, let him come and face this thing. Because we want him to explain to Nigerians what is happening. He's not explaining to us. We are representative of the people, but by the time we give it, everybody is calling that they want to know what is happening in the country. And an appointee cannot just refuse to come, unless, of course, if the person is hiding some information or is hiding something, or if it's not, or if it's not competent to come and face the Nigerians and answer to this question. I think it's most unfortunate, and we have to do something about the image of Mr. President, the image of our country, and the image of our democratic environment, that is the institution of the parliament. It has never happened anywhere, and we should cross-check it and see. The same law that backed the IG to do what he is doing in the country is the same law, the same constitution that backed the Senate to call him, Section 88 and 89. We have every right to know what is happening in the country. Today, Binta Masi just moved a motion about the killings in Mubi. And we are talking about the military. What is the work of the police there? What has the police done? I made mention of the robbery in Offa. What has the police done? The work of the police is not about issue of politics. It's not about issue of politics. The time that you see police at work, when it concerns a politician. But when it concerns with the main issue of securing the lives and properties of Nigerians, that is the time that you see they are dragging feet. But if it is issue of politics, I think this one is a big embarrassment for the country, and it's a big embarrassment for the commander-in-chief. Thank you.
Senator Barbe.
Make one very little statement. A very short and very small statement. Democracies die. If any one of us continues to feel that, oh, we have a democracy, I want to tell each and every one of us and Nigerians that democracies die. And it dies in two ways. It either dies abruptly, like we have seen in Nigeria, or it dies in little bits. And what is going on today in Nigeria is that democracy is dying in little bits. And it dies when people abuse governmental power. And all that we have seen today with the conduct of the chief law officer of the Federation of Nigeria is nothing but an abuse of power. He has no respect for this institution. That is now a fact. There's absolutely no way we can dress it. There's absolutely no way we can say, let us give him some more time. There's absolutely no way we can say that what he is doing is anything but an abuse of this institution, of the Federation of Nigeria, of himself, even in the eyes of the international community. This morning, I watched somebody who was a police officer in Britain say something very germane to what we're discussing today. And he said, if the chief law officer of a federation cannot obey the law himself, how do you now say to other people who are miscreants and other people who are those who commit crime, how do you want them to obey the law when you don't obey the law yourself? Now, Mr. President, I also want to agree with our colleague here who has said that we need to actually go into a closed session and be very, very frank to ourselves and agree whether we will accept this insult to the President of Nigeria, because the chief law officer is an appointee of the President. And if he disobeys the law, he is actually doing it against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so, I want to appeal to each and every one of us, our colleagues, to remember that if you don't deal with this abuse of power, all of us are going to regret it, because there is nothing that will stop anybody else from doing what he likes in this country. I so submit.
Distinguished colleagues, session and discuss these issues. Those who are in favor of that say aye. Those against, nay. The ayes have it. Let's close the session, please.